Hey everyone, sitting here in beautiful Romania. As I do this live, I'll be rolling some cigarettes, if you will, and multitasking because I keep so busy working divinely with everything I do. So having said that, let's get right into this. And before I begin, I won't most likely be answering any questions that come in the queue uh, on this on this live. One of the reasons I'm doing it on my phone, and I wish to get as much information out as possible at this time, if you will. So I will just talk as I roll cigarettes there. And first thing, what I'd like though, if someone can put into the comments, can you hear me well? That would be the first thing. So if someone can put a comment up, can you hear me well? That would be great. Uh, Well, I believe you can. I speak loud anyway. So I'll begin. So let's have a look. Let's have a look at what's occurring. With this, what I wish to say is some significant dates divinely that we are looking forward to. Hi, William. Is November the 1st is a, thank you, Adrena. Yeah, so everyone can hear me good. November the 1st is divinely substantial. For whatever reasons, it looks like an indication, at least, of a more of a pivotal shift upwards, is what I can say, and something more noticeable and substantial will occur on Earth that will affect at least most of the populace, and also more greater effects for those awakened and, of course, in alignment with God and the overall ascension. So, having said this, November the 1st is an important date to recognize, to acknowledge, and without speculation or conjecture, let's see what just occurs on that day, and we'll have more information to take things forward. Now, having said this, November the 15th linear time of this year is also another very important date. And the main reasoning for November the 15th is what I was given from Father Prime Creator perhaps a couple months ago, that it was possible that GPMS.world, which is the divine will, the divine plan, what we have been spreading the awareness of for the people and children of God, what Father has said. Yeah, and when you look outside with everything what's happening now, regardless, Father said it's very, very possible for the implementation of this GPMS New World by November the 15th. So, very interesting. And if you look right now, let's say from your operating humanoid divine consciousness, when you are to take a gauge of the outside world, the first thing that would come to one's mind, how is this even possible? How would humanity be able to shift so quickly into the civilized, loving world of heaven on earth, of GPMS.world? Well, with this, from your operating consciousness and what you can see out there with the world, you might think that it's not very possible. However, it's important to never exclude the abstract force of God and never exclude miracles. Meaning, I'm not saying this is going to happen, but let's just say if around November the 1st, that billions on earth that were connected to God heard God's voice from the sky given a direction, you could see that then it would be possible that GPMS.world could be implemented by then. So I only use that as an example, and by no means am I saying that Father or Mother, Father God will speak from the sky on November the 1st. But what I am saying is never exclude the omnipotency and the miracles of God, if you will. And with this, we are in the most unprecedented, uncharted time on earth. And the presence of divinity is within each of you, which is growing stronger every day. And of course, you're not alone. We have the leagues of heaven, both in, let's say, the upper realm and also incarnated upon earth at this time. So this is a huge divine plan, what is occurring, which simply we wish to keep it the ascension, the planetary ascension. So importantly, again, even though in times of despair, if you will, and the many tests and trials and tribulation, always keep your trust in God and keep your trust in yourself and your connection to God. All of you know that you come here, at least by this point, that you come to earth for a certain reason, that everything you do is not just some random act, that there is definitely a point and a reason why you are here. And again, to simply give it to all, we are all here to change this savage earth into a civilized earth in the least, and to fulfill the will of God upon earth at this time. Now, having said that, nothing can stop the will of God. Nothing can stop GPMS.world. It is the promise, it is the deliverance for all into the heaven on earth scenario. No one can rebuke it. No one can justifiably contest it, what it is. So, having said that, we have that important date. There's also between November 15th to the 25th, there is at this time, what I will say is that there is some sort of a window of events that are going to be in the least significant to how things go forward in this overall ascension and on earth as well. All is connected. And also with GPMS.world, whatever this may be. Hopefully and ideally, the complete mission would be done for Earth, and the implementation of GPMS occurs in or around that time. However, again, I do not have the full information to say that is so. But again, going back to what I said before, we never exclude the omnipotency of God. So, we had, very interestingly, the other day or a couple days ago, we had an important X-flare that had the divine signature on it of 3.3 in the least, and other significant divine signatures with the numbers on it. And it was designated, still designated, for the individuals that it resonated with to upgrade your energetic fields and also your physical vessel. And this was an important divine application, if you will, to prepare all for what is still to come and transpire, which could be part of a chaotic lower timeline. So it's in part with the bifurcation, what we had, where I'll use two of these to demonstrate it. So the bifurcation event is the linear timeline, but this timeline here is splitting, and it's up here right on the tip is where all of you divine ones and us will reside, like in the top row of the seats, watching this lower timeline implode and destruct to the degree that it has to. One of the obstacles with this overall ascension is that we are still dealing with a very small fraction of evil, if you will, but more so, it's not the actual evil theirself, it's their influence and manipulation and control, if you will, on humanity's consciousness. The evil themselves cannot create. What they do is they manipulate and they trick the human consciousness, the human souls, into believing storylines that the evil theirself conjure and they put out to get the people to believe it. Now, also, no one can deny, all of you to some degree, perhaps, you know about the censoring, if you will, of the truth. This is done intentionally by the remnants of the darkness. And any form of concealment is the opposite of transparency. God is transparent. Anything that conceals is not aligned with God, nor perhaps it's not of God at all. So this needs to be known for us to create a new and beautiful heaven on earth. There has to be the transparency. And with that, it's divinely assured that nothing can be hidden in this great time. Truth prevails, and more every day. So what this means, it does not matter about how many times you've been censored, if you will. We persevere and we break down those walls of Jericho, wherever that come from, as his father sent it. But nevertheless, with this, it's important to maintain your positions on public platforms, speak your truth, speak the divine world of gpms.world, persevere and just keep putting it out there and know that it is inevitable, so we get this world changed quicker. The quicker the better, and we get this mission completed. We don't need to, if you will, fight any aspect of the darkness. We are the omnipotent divinity that we just replace, overpower, and just replace what they were doing and turn it into the full benefit of the light. But we're not going back. What we are doing is creating the new reality, void of all of their ill intent, and of course, any of their agendas, if you will. So it's so important to also understand that the battle has already been won, and we're playing out the roles to take it to quick fruition. And yes, of course, getting back to, the consciousness and the manipulation with that, it is all being sorted out on a divine level, that we are in this great time where all false prophets are revealed, all false storylines, anything that disempowers the individual, anything that is disparity, disharmony, is distortion. in inequality is distortion. It is not of God. So anything that suggests that you, any of us, are better than any of our humanoid brothers and sisters, that is not correct. So it's important to understand this, that there is nothing that is more omnipotent than your divinity, aligned with the truth and aligned with God to the utmost degree that you have achieved at this time, or that is possible for you at this time. Because what comes with this, hand in hand, of course, is the individual's trials and tribulations at purifying their self, purifying their acts, their deeds, changing completely to be the most virtuous, purest, divine example for this new world. So all of this individual clearing is done here. It has to be done here now so that this new world is not contaminated by these old things. So again, it's very important to understand that and to know the divine schematics of the overall ascension. So getting back to the X-ray of the other day, that the X flare, if you will, was also an X-ray. For any of you that followed the post, you could see a bit of the divine humor that was put there when Divine Sister Marcella here in Romania took a picture of what looked like a spine of a humanoid vessel and an X-ray of it, if you will, but it clearly depicted and confirmed and supported the credibility of what I put out in that respect, of what that divine energy from the sun was delivered to do. Now, more currently, just sometime today at, oh no, it's not just sometime, today at UT time at 7:17, again, another important divine stamp on that, there was a 1.8 X flare. Now, anytime you see these stamps on this with certain numbers, we say 17, if you will, is the father number, 18 is the mother number. So when you see these numbers on any sun emissions, you can at least in one way say that this is father-mother energy coming in, but all of you are connected to the mother-father, so this means it's also for you, for all of us. But it also is an energy that is directed and used in certain divine applications by what we call the ground crew that are working on energetic activations as well. Much is done through the operating consciousness, and your consciousness is much greater than, let's say, than many know or believe. Your consciousness is creation, it's co-creation, and it depends upon the degree that the individual has come to discover that for themselves, how much of an influence and an impact they are actually making on their reality and their environment. And to keep it simple, if someone is negative and toxic, they're going to create a reality that's like that. And if they have not dealt with the fear and let go and let go and let God and give everything to God, surrender and follow what God has said in the absolute virtue and purity, then they will experience negative realities. Now, the opposite of that is so true. The ones that trust in God, their connection with God, keep training the consciousness to be positive, purify yourself, then you reside on a higher, elevated timeline. and getting back to the bifurcation, then you reside up here, and um, you're not subjugated to a lot of the lower consciousness nonsense, and where the battle within individuals with evil, their own darkness that they have left, but then also the contending darkness that is outside. So you don't get involved in that drama and those energetic excursions that will deplete your energetic field and lower your consciousness, that you begin to again to forget who you are. So incrementally you're getting your divine memory back by the more of the purification in the inner work you do. Your consciousness raises, you are connected more to Mother and Father, to Prime Creator, then the more information that you receive as well. It's important to know that you are, in the least, more so in this new world, you're going into a world where your parapsychological gifts are activated and turned on, and I'll use telepathy because it is very important. And with telepathy, yes, reading each other's mind, projecting thoughts, if you will, towards. And this is why it's so important before you get into the full telepathic state and existence for yourself in the future. Before that, you need to purify your thoughts also here in what you are projecting outward, because a telepathic environment is fully transparent, so there cannot be any deception nor lies in that as well, for it doesn't work. Anyone that is lying or deceptive, poof, you're pushed out of that. So you do the purification here, because we are creating the new world where no deception exists. So we have this occurring right now, as what I mentioned and alluded to in the first part of this live. So this is ongoing. Now what's going to occur as well is you're seeing it pick up speed. Those of you that are presently part of GPMS.world, you're seeing the consents increase, increase, increase. There is a certain point here very soon, I feel strongly and believe, although not divinely fully ascertained yet, that it's going to go viral anyhow. And it doesn't per se go viral organically. It depends on every divine individual that's playing a supportive divine role with GPMS.world, that's in alignment with it. And once they're in alignment and have purified themselves enough, they can see more clearly what it is. It is the divine plan. It is the deliverance. It is the promise being fulfilled through all beliefs, all faiths, all prophecies upon earth. So there is no denying this time. Also, the Great Awakening did not happen by chance. It's by divine orchestration, and it's to facilitate and prepare everyone for the, hey, little butterfly, this new and beautiful world we are here to create. So there's going to be no more suffering on earth, no more inequality with a few having money, if you will, and most without any, and starving. All these ridiculous, savage, insane things are no longer acceptable. And the ones that are not accepting this are growing more and more every day into their consciousness, into their conscience of knowing that it's morally wrong. And of course, it's not in alignment with God. So everything is occurring, and no individual And no group of individuals can stop this. It's inevitable, and it's occurring. And I always love to say it's imminent, because with the power of God in the moment, in the blink of an eye, you can be in a whole new reality. And this is what some reference as the flashpoint, or a 0 point that is achieved, and all are in a new world. And what I give to you, and please look at this is truth. I know I've been in different multi-dimensions. I've been in different dimensions, different places, different states of being, even while on Earth. So this is very true, and it occurs in a snap of the fingers, a blink of an eye. So again, never exclude the power of yourself and of God, and do not follow any stories or narratives that are not empowering you, that's making you codependent upon something else. That is nonsense. It is foolish. We are all here to create the equal, abundant world. And the truth with gold and silver and all of these other derivatives of the beast system, the capitalistic cabal beast system, all of these are distractions and illusions to rob ones of your true worth, your true potential value that we are activating now upon Earth. Along with your value comes your complete emancipation from the old system, from the old sickening paradigm. The purity with GPMS is no one is competing. There is no reason to compete when all are sharing in all of the abundance of the earth. Gold and silver and things, they have no value. They would not exist if you did not apply a recognition of value to them. So it makes it's absolute foolish to put all of your intrinsic unlimited value onto a limited thing, such as that butterfly is so beautiful. I got to show you. To let your value be robbed from you. Oh, don't know if you caught him or not. He had the beautiful father blue spots on his wings. Just absolutely gorgeous. So, with the absolute value, everyone needs to understand this. And also, the divine plan is not, again, to put money into the hands of the few, and to not put power into the illusion that only a few can create money. This is totally disempowering, and these are tactics to control ones and to keep ones from their true unlimited value. So everyone needs to be wise to the stories, the false stories that are out there that creates a false hope. What all of you need to know is that in part of the dark tactics is that they will create a bad cop, good cop scenario. They create controlled opposition to trick ones in believing a narrative to disempower them. One such narrative has been going on for 20 years. It is not the divine plan. It does not come to fruition because it doesn't change anything. This leaves the power into the hands of a few that no one even knows who they really are and who they see. No one knows, no one sees who they are. And that's concealment. It's not transparency. So there's many red flags for any divine ones, any good souls, to see above the illusion and the trickery of those also. And part of this is coming down very quickly. right from this now up and continues at least forward into, let's say, the 15th to the 25th. And also there is the mass exodus into GPMS, if you will, that occurs at this time. Now, the darkness, the way that they controlled humanity in the past is creating the false stories and being the director of the narrative and the conversation. So as you would see in the past, if you will, the most recent past, many of you were putting out the truth about the toxins and how you were censored and what have you. Because the dark, it's very real that here he is, that the darkness had wanted to control the conversation. Because when the darkness controls the conversation, then they trick humanity into creating their story for them that keeps them in control. And believe me, with any governments and any banks and the old way that money was created and value was perpetrated upon one's an illusionary value, that is not part of the new. It's not going to happen. And it's all breaking down as we speak. Yes, there's a lot of pumped up enthusiasm and excitement, but again, at each time there is always that letdown, and it's designed to do that because it is not an instrument of God. It is designed to pump ones up like they do with the financial markets, which are the dark constructs, and then crash it, because it's the actual crash, dense energy and dense emotions and feelings of loss and remorse is what the darkness thrives on. Everything on earth is about the energy. It's not per se about the money, but the darkness used the money and markets to control humanity, to generate fear and negativity out there. And that is how that worked, to keep it simple. And what we have done with GPMS.world, we have completely flipped the tables on the money exchangers, the money makers. And what we are doing with this, with GPMS.world, we put the full creation of the money in the hands of the majority upon earth. No longer is it going to be in the hands of a few. Neither will it be at their discretion how it gets dispersed. We put the power of the money in all people's hands and unlimited, and it's dispersed equally everywhere. There is no few rich ones that will have the money to do funded humanitarian projects. That does not exist. There is humanitarian projects, but it's as a whole worldwide. There is no one individual that is better than another to have an assignment of value. We all have the full absolute assignment of value. And this is attached to your inherent rights, your inherent knowing, your God-given rights, and your God-given abilities. So we are in such very amazing times with this ascension, and everything is looking like it should be all over soon. And as many more in this ascension, there are levels of consciousness, and one's need to ascend those levels and keep awaking higher and higher to more of the absolute truth. There are many levels of truth, and if there was not so, I would not be saying this now. And one of the great examples of that is you did not know you were living a lie when you were in it until you awakened to a much different truth. So this is the perfect confirmation and example to what I'm saying. But what you need to know is that there is even more truth of where you're at right now as we go forward. And I love what a dear brother said, that each does not know what you don't know. And this is very important, to always remain neutral, to purify yourself and keep your connection and your direction and your projection on the highest good. Always. No in-betweens. Don't accept a bone, if you will, like someone throwing a bone to a dog to keep them quiet. Be wise and don't get caught into any of these deceptive means or deceptive things. And again, there are many, yes, that don't know what they don't know. And I as well, there are certain things that I don't know yet. However, the truth is that we do know everything because it's written in the script. And as we proceed forward with trust and our alignment with Mother, Father, God, and this overall ascension, we reveal all truth to ourselves. So ones need to also consider that. What I say, you do know it all. So don't say that you don't, because as a co-creator, the stronger you become, if you say, I don't know it all, then what you immediately create is a block so that you don't. So it's important to say that you know it all, and that it's coming incrementally is a better way. Because if you go into your conscious thought that you don't know it all, you're going to create that scenario where you don't. So it's important to be very meticulous in your thoughts and in your spoken word and in your actions, in your deeds. Everything needs to be purified within you. And the quicker you do that, the quicker we rise. And again, it's ascertained, and that's what's occurring. So it's inevitable, God's will and God's plan. One of the biggest things we are still, let's say, contending with is that the churches that speak the word of God, and there's many good souls that are priests and pastors, if you will, and there's, of course, in the congregations, many good souls. And with this, there is a certain point which has to come soon, that all of these churches, these shepherds, need to show the direction of their good congregations into gpms.world again as well. There is no refuting what gpms.world is by any church or any faith worldwide once they take the moment to look at it, because of their background in education, in theology, and also their own self-divine knowing. They cannot refute nor revoke nor rebut what GPMS is. So they will see what it is, and they will come into alignment with it if they are actual genuine souls. Because again, the darkness, if you will, has created controlled opposition, if you will, that they'll have what looks like a good guy giving a certain theme with a certain agenda, but at the same time there is the underlying dark agenda. So it's with each one's discernment that you also come to know more of the truth, who is genuine and who is not. And for the record, these are organic cigarettes, and that's what I smoke, and it's very important to take care of your vessel. So, what will I say? There were some other things I were going to say today, and I believe I have said most of it, for right now, at least. And I'll keep this one short, and with this, with the final closing notes, if you will. Keep in your highest trust, keep in your highest energy possible. Know that you are not blocked, that you're not restricted. Know that everything is fine and perfect as you are. It's all part of the energetic environment and the divine codes and upgrades. All of this is fine. Keep with this. The overall ascension is designed and given in such a way to all of you here now that most ascend with this physical vessel intact, that we stay with humanity to ascend the planet into the first echelon of the fifth dimensional state of being. But just because some of your family or loved ones that you know are a soul, they go ahead. They'll go just through a death process here, but there is no death, and they are just ahead in the future. Because the truth is, the soul exists for all times. We do not die. The human souls, the children of God, the evil and the minions and the clones, they do die. They are not a spark of God. So they are left behind in the dust, if you will. And it's important to not be influenced nor controlled by any of the minions and their false narratives and what have you. Very importantly, too, back in, I believe, maybe it was February, divinely, we had taken measures, a small group, what we call, have divine ones, a small group of us gathered. We had taken measures to alleviate the water saturation on Earth. So we were given instructions then also to mitigate and diminish at this time many of the flood waters that are coming not only through the firmament but up from within Gaia herself. She was saturated. So this is also why you are seeing not all of the water is coming from the sky, and we'll use Helene, if you will, as an example. Not all that water came from the usual clouds and sky. A lot of that water came from up inside as well, from inside Earth and inside Gaia, and combined and made the huge walls, unprecedented walls of water. So Father Prime Creator's promise was not to flood the entire world again. However, he did not say anything about giving the vast grave warnings through the floods as well. Nevertheless, to let all know there will not be a worldwide flood, there will not be any catastrophic natural worldwide events. That has all been eliminated and avoided, and it was divinely assured, and measures were taken to that effect. Now, it's not to say that ongoing floods will occur, because it's part and parcel to wake up others and also to have the experience to know the importance of unity and community and love and sharing and assisting each other, instead of being separated by the dollar and getting the dollar signs in the eyes and what have you, from that nefarious control. So these things still serve their purpose, yet we're not, if you will say, not fully out of the woods, but at least we're on top of the trees, that we are not blinded by the forest. We can see clearly over the forest and know that we're getting closer. And as we stay on top of the trees, we raise up our brothers and sisters that are getting out of the forest, out of the matrix. So also, this is important for all of you to know as well. I will reiterate and will confirm there is no going back. No going back into the old. And so many of you know this, and more each day are knowing that you cannot fit into a job in this present uh, current worldwide system. It just doesn't resonate. But also, divinely, you're not to be supporting the old. So, yes, part of your tests upon your divine I was going to say tenure, but upon your divine empowerment, you are tested to not be controlled by that outside world, controlled thinking that you need to have luxury, thinking that you need to make money to pay bills and remain in that robotic system of making money, pay bills, then making money, pay bills. These things are not part of the new, and ones have been disappropriated from those scenarios. And I love one dear sister, Stephanie. She had said one time she had, I believe, over 400 resumes sent out, and she could not even get a job at McDonald's. And her education and her accreditations were, very impressive, if you will. But this is what occurs because, again, you are a divine soul here to do things, and you are not more powerful than the omnipotent, supernatural, abstract consciousness of Mother and Father theirself, and of course, the overall divine plan. So, for ones will speak, you have free will. Yeah, you have free will of choice, but it's a limited free will. And also, you don't have the choice of not complying with the divine plan, if you will. In the moment, you may say, yes, I got the choice. I don't want to be part of it. But what you'll see is that divine circumstances will set up that you really don't have any choice if you're part of this new world. But if you're a minion, part of darkness, no, you don't go into it. So your choice is to remain in the old ways. This is for the minions. And that's why, because their belief and their choice also is not there, that's aligned with a beautiful, equal world. And again, everything is divinely ascertained, and I know this, and I would not be doing what I am doing, devoting all of my existing time here doing what I do voluntarily. There's many other things. If I was not genuine and authentic and divine, believe me, I'm in Romania, and right now in beautiful British Columbia, I see some friends are out in nature picking mushrooms to sell, pine mushrooms and chanterelles, and that was all cash money. It was all beautiful. You're your own boss and your time in nature. You're alone with Mother, Father, God, and the elements, and that is so special and so precious for anyone. But the point of me saying this, what I am doing is this divine mission, and it is a selfless mission, like all of you as well. This is what it has to be, the selfless mission, because we are the peers and examples to create this new world where there is no selfishness, where there is no greed, there is no separation, there is no competition, because all these things divide and separate, and then ones were conquered. So this new world we're here to create is the unity, and we're doing that. So, yeah, I believe pretty well done with that ramble. And having said this again, I'm keeping so busy. I've been more busy now divinely working than I ever have been, if you will. In my old human life, I would work a lot of days, 18 hours a day, when I was human. Uh, and But here I am now working 17 or 18 hours a day, divinely. Uh, but Also, the reason for this, I live forever the same as all of you. And without that true conviction and knowing, instilled knowing and trust, what I wish to say, I would not be here doing what I am doing. It's because of this absolute trust and knowing what is occurring with this overall ascension that I do what I do. So for all of you, no matter if it gets a little bit rough, hang in there, and we've got this, and keep going forward, and tell your friends and family about gpms.world. Divinely, it's been kept very simple, meaning that ones don't even have to be awake to choose it. It's logical as well. It's being done through worldwide vote, referendum, and everyone knows that the majority rules. So what the world is voting on is the new system. And once we have the majority vote, that ratifies into existence the divine law that is accepted by all, so we get it done in one fell swoop. So it is the lawful ratification of the new GPMS world, where everyone is abundant and free, and we right at the fingertips with this. Money becomes no object, meaning that we also restore Gaia, Earth, to pristine proportions, and very quickly the Earth is cleaned up. And so it's all inclusive for the new world. It's not a fairy tale. It's not a pipe dream. It is the reality. And this is how easy it is done. And this is how easy it is being done. Because I need to also say there is a sense of urgency to get this done. And again, going back, one of the reasons was the worldwide flooding, where we divinely got called to take preventative measures so that there wouldn't have been a much broader flooding, where we got called to do this, to prepare so that the world was not flooded. This means that the ascension is ascertained, but it also means there is a sense of urgency. And with this, what I need to say, one of the senses of urgency, the reason why it's there, is because when the masses are in fear at this time, they're creating distorted weather patterns, because everything is energy. And when they are negative and disharmonic, it creates disharmonized weather events, because everything is energy. So it's also very important that we get the world up into the joy and into the positivity. And the only way to do this is to eliminate this worldwide system that is here currently, designed to create negativity. So we have given the choice to humanity for the joyous world. And this joyous world, because the energy is beautiful in it, all of Earth and Gaia becomes calm, much more calmer, immediate climates all around, and the beautiful Garden of Eden worldwide, if you will. So it's important to know what is contributing to the present storms, and how the divine measures were taken to alleviate their impact. But also it needs to be known that many of these storms are actually caused by the unbeknownst souls themselves, of their ability, and how generating fear and negativity out into reality was amplifying these storms as well. So divinely and divinely prudently, the consciousness has to change and a new world has to be created with all the positive attributes in it. And this is what GPMS does, without getting too much into detail with that, because as you know, everything is connected, and I could ramble for weeks here on everything that I've just spoke about and show you how it all goes together and connects all the dots. But again, simply, it's the butterfly effect. One little thing affects the entire world and the universes as well. And divinely, Mother, Father, God have stepped in this most amazing time to ensure that Gaia Earth is saved, if you will, and all of the children of God that are on it. So we are taking the entire Earth into a new reality, and all of the children of God, all of the good souls. And this is the process that we're in. So with that, peace, big love, light, and much gratitude for all of the hard work that each one of you are doing with all of your energetic activations, with everything that you do every day, with your beautiful kindness and being the example for the world, for others. And it's a very great, beautiful time. So thank you for all that you do. Love, light, and gratitude. And we got this, and have a great day.